Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report because without you guys, this literally just does not work. And it almost didn't work today because, I literally just got home 15 minutes ago from going down the country, had to work on a house. You guys know everything that's going on in my life with the power of the internet. Had to drive down and take care of literally a flooded basement that had about 4 feet of water. Sump pump died. We had rainstorms galore. We had some flooding and everything. Shout out to everybody who's already jumped on. Sorry, I'm actually 2 minutes late. I hope you guys forgive me. But you know what? Just yell and cuss at me. That's what everybody usually does. Hello, Eduardo, Boomer Sooner, Jose, Matt, Trevor, Dallas Cowboys Talk, Connecticut Cowboys. Big shout out to you. Corey, Anthony, Pony Man. That's a new one. Extreme Archery. Ooh, Extreme Archery. Buddy, I saw some of your Redskin faithful yesterday, man. I've got some more footage and stuff that I have to share, especially of Doc Walker. Doc Walker was incredible. Steve Richardson, Anthony, Travis, Derek, good Lord. John, wow. Redskins' first Super Bowl. Yeah. Like I said, man, yesterday I have been so blessed. And part of the reason why I originally started Joe Boo looking like a nut was I've been blessed to have done like a lot of really cool stuff that I wish I could take everybody along with me to do. The great thing about social media is you can share that stuff, and that's how Joe Boo started, was me just taking pictures of places I went, and it evolved into this. And yesterday was an incredible event. I wish they had actually publicized it more. It was a Redskins versus Cowboys fundraiser done by Ken Harvey. And today they're supposed to be playing golf. I don't know if the golf match was actually scheduled or not because it rained all day. But you had Bill Bates, you had Tony Casillas, you had excuse me, Steve Berline there. You had a linebacker that I really didn't know, Mike Vander somebody, but I can't remember exactly. I'm getting old and forgetful. You had Darryl Green over there. You had Taylor there. You had, of course, Ken Harvey, Doc Walker. So these guys were reliving those past things. And what was cool, LaRon, thank you very much for that super chat. What was really cool, we'll go ahead and have a drawing tonight too, was listening to some of these stories because they said literally the hate was so big that George Allen wanted to meet Tom Landry at midfield and fight. And he said, we would have been happy for that to happen. We wouldn't have to play. It would just be Tom Landry and George Allen fighting it out in the middle. And I'm looking for my ink pen. Oh, there it is, down on the floor. And that's the kind of stories that were just incredible. Okay, guys, the draft is coming up. It's time for us to move on from Dez Bryant. I know everybody is still hurting and people are still mad about the situation and stuff, but it is what it is. It's done. It's over with. There's nothing we can do about it. And now, unfortunately, it's all of the Dez bashing and stuff. Michael Irvin's coming out and saying, things about how Dez is. Dez doesn't, basically, people that are trying to help him, he's not taking the help, and he's lashing out at a lot of people. He's definitely hurt, and unfortunately, football is a business. Thank you, LaRon. The haters, you know what? I'm going to start quoting. Anybody who does a super chat tonight, we're going to enter you for a drawing. And we'll end up doing one of the shirts that I got signed yesterday. Friday, we're going to do the big drawing for the Dak Prescott jersey. What I really ask if you guys can do, because we're trying to get as much money together before the draft event, is actually if you go to the top corner and go to my donation page and click on that, because those donations come like immediately as opposed to super chats being next month. So we're trying to make that draft trip as big as possible. We've got a few chinks in the armors, but we've got a plan we're working on. We have to learn how to work on the fly. But Dez Bryant is gone. It's over with. It's done. We've lost other great players before. We'll be okay. I feel good about the team going into this year. I know we still have Jason Garrett, and some people are saying, you got what you want and everything else, and, you're supporting Jason Garrett. Hold on. Let's back off here. I am still not sold on Jason Garrett as our head coach. I would have loved it if we had moved on and went elsewhere. But we didn't. Nothing I can do about that. So as a Dallas Cowboy fan who supports the star, who wants to see them succeed, I got to support Jason Garrett. I've got to hope that Jason Garrett coaches with urgency and thinks that my job might be on the line. I need to do something. I am now getting my wish that I was tired of Dez Bryant, because we heard that Dez Bryant called Dak Prescott, he called Jason Garrett, and we don't have the exact details of what transpired in that conversation. But needless to say, it wasn't a good conversation. Jason Garrett and Jason Garrett's guys were ready to move on. And I told you guys, and that's where I know I'm here in Northern Virginia. I am a construction worker. I've got a voodoo doll. I'm not like, one of the NFL insiders like Ian Rappaport, who know everything. Ryan Hedridge, Hernandez, Kirk, Leonard. Okay, that would be great. Okay, I would love to see Hernandez. You guys all know I'm from build from the line out. If you have a great line, your running backs will be that much greater, and your wide receivers will have an easier time because they're going to be worrying about the run, especially having your quarterback with extra time. Nathan, thank you very much for the super chat. I know I'm not one of those NFL insiders, like Ian Rappaport. He knew exactly what was going to happen with Dez Bryant. He let us know that Dez Bryant was going to be offered a pay cut, and he was going to take it and return to the Cowboys. Well, okay, but he reported that Dez Bryant, we have clarity, he said, on the Dez Bryant situation. He will be offered a pay cut, which he will take and return to Dallas.
He would take the pay cut.
Yeah, but he was wrong about the Cowboys offering a pay cut, wasn't he, Michael Anthony? Yeah. And this is the same guy who said that the Seahawks were keeping Earl Thomas. Again, I'm just a nut with the voodoo doll. I don't know anything. He said that they will be working on a long-term deal for Earl Thomas. Well, thus far, they have not talked about a contract extension. They've talked to teams about moving him. Of course, everybody keeps saying, oh, well, they want a first and a third. Yeah, well, you know what? I want $1 million. But it doesn't mean I'm going to get it. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it. We're getting close to crunch time. We're getting close to the draft where they need picks. Their defense is decimated. They are at the point of, I won't say rebuilding, but definitely having to reload on that defense because they lost just about everybody. Cam Chancellor, well, we're not sure if he'll ever be able to play again. Richard Sherman tore his Achilles tendon, and he got cut. Michael Bennett went to Philadelphia and then, of course, to Dallas to be arraigned. Cliff Averill, neck injury, won't be playing anymore. Chris Richard, their coach, he's here in Dallas. So Earl Thomas, an aging safety, what's he going to give you as you go through and get all these young guys to start over with? What the idea is you want to get a group of players together, and you want to go ahead and build towards that window and make that run. You teach them. Last year was our teaching time. We were 8th ranked in defense last year. We had some bad games without Sean Lee, without a doubt, but it was trial by fire for our young guys. They're going to be better this year. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, who had a phenomenal season, who really is now, we don't know if he'll get that long-term deal before July 15th. He's really in a contract year again because he knows if I play like I did this year, it's going to be on. I'm going to really get the big bucks. I can get $17 million right now. If I have a repeat performance like this again and I'm on that franchise tag, guess what? If the Cowboys don't want to pay me, somebody's going to pay me about $20 million. Yes, Joe Boo definitely needs a refill. Well, we're going to be talking about, we're going to have John calling in as well as John Gardner, DMV, Dallas Cowboys. Michael just gave me the thumbs up. He's like, finally, Dad, you got it right. And we have E2 Blue calling in just a minute. And we'll be talking about who we think the Dallas Cowboys will be getting. It definitely changes things with Dez Bryant going as far as the draft goes. But I'm hoping, I know a lot of people are saying, okay, now you got to draft a wide receiver in the first round. But it's my contention that wide receivers position has taken a little bit of a hit. I don't think that wide receivers are the guy that you have to have. And when you look at wide receivers from last year, I don't have all the names in front of me, but pretty much everybody who was drafted last year, I think only one actually had an impact as far as a wide receiver went. So do you draft a wide receiver in the first round knowing that he's probably not going to do much for your team for next year? Or do you look maybe like we did with Hearns, get a guy who's already learned a bit and bring them in? I'm kind of more of the latter. I'm looking at, to me, a successful draft is A, you get an impact player. Okay? Number one. 2, you get 2 starters. 3, you get a special team standout. And 4 and 5, you get depth. If you get that in the draft, you did fantastic. If we draft a wide receiver, I guarantee you that they're not going to be a Pro Bowler. They're not going to be fantastic in any stretch of the imagination. They'll do good, but you won't get that impact player. And you can go back and look at the 2016 season, and the difference of that season versus the 2017 season was we got impact from our rookies. Zeke Elliott, NFL rushing champ. You got Dak Prescott, who ended up being Rookie of the Year. And that's the difference of what 2016 was. We had Malik Collins, who came out the gate, boom, playing well. You had Anthony Brown playing well. You got what I tell you expect to get out of your draft. You could look at the first half of the draft, and nobody other than Lewis had any impact whatsoever on the team. Awuzie was still dealing with hamstring issues. Taco was a soft taco until the second half of the season. Ryan Switzer, well, he didn't do much of an impact. Well, he did have a big impact, which was a fumble deep in our territory in a game that we lost. So we have to do better in the draft. We've got to get somebody in that first round who's going to start and is going to be an impact player. How are we doing tonight, E2 Blue?
Man, we good, man. We good. I'm excited. We got a week and some odd change for this draft, man?
Buddy, we leave 8 days from right now.
Ow.
8 days from right now, we will be on the RV driving to Dallas.
Man, I'm so excited.
That's right. We're leaving Tuesday night after rush hour traffic from Northern Virginia, driving to Dallas. Now, we got a little bit of a hiccup with the parking situation of the RV. We're going to have to go guerrilla style, and we're going to have to go back to basically having like 4 cars together parked to do our tailgate, so that way we're close to the stadium. We don't want to be all the way out in Lot H at Rangers Place because they don't want the RVs in there. But it's going to be really, really cool. We're getting it all together, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So
Yeah, so am I.
I thought John was going to be calling in about the same time too, but we'll get started without him. Let's go ahead and deal with Dez Bryant. We haven't talked about it too much since then. How do you feel about the situation? Because we're getting all kinds of stuff, man. It's just ugly. We got fans out there that are literally ready to burn down my station. Michael Irvin is now talking about um, Dez basically is, you know, angry at people that are trying to help him, and it's just bad. I just want to get your quick take on it.
Well, I'm gonna reiterate what I was talking about on my channel yesterday when I did my video. Basically, I was just in a nutshell, I was saying that um, we already talked about this whole situation, how they did this. I just felt like, yeah, they don't owe players anything, but they still did them dirty. If you knew
Yeah,
you didn't want him on the team, you should have released him when you could. So at least let the man have his dignity. You know what I mean?
I
And
agree with
and the
that.
fact that they just dragged this whole thing on and it just went through the media, and then you got staffers talking mess. I mean, no other team does stuff like this. You got to keep that stuff in the house. It was so unlike the Cowboys. It was so unprofessional. Like, I mean, the whole situation was just ridiculous. And then, when Dez got cut, I just felt like it's going to be more drama. I don't need there to be a rift in the locker room now because of the situation that happens. Because now that he may have an issue with a player, they said that Witten said that he didn't want to be on the team. They said it was Sean Lee, um, Garrett's guys, whoever those guys are. But we already know it was Steven Jones.
Okay. All right. We got John calling in too. Merge calls. How are you doing? Let's see if I can get this right here, guys. You know I'm technology challenged.
What's going on?
Hey, how are we doing? I'm trying to. Why are we not merging? Okay, hold on. John, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Doing pretty well. I'm ready to talk Cowboys football.
All right. Let me see why we are not merging these two calls. Hmm. E2. Okay. Wait. Bring you on down. Merge calls. Well, while I'm trying to get these two calls together, John, give me your take on the Dez Bryant situation.
My take on it right now is at first I was a little upset. Not necessarily that they cut him because I mean it's football. It happens. It's a business, and I did a video a long time ago on the numbers breakdown as to why it made sense.
Uh huh.
It's E2 right there, but
Okay. Oops. Lost. Okay. Let's see if I got this right now. Okay. There's E2.
hello.
I guess I
Oh,
got I
okay.
guess I
All
got
right.
dropped some
Yeah,
kind of
you
way.
okay, so I got you both. Oh man. Okay.
Hey,
Finally. We got it together here. Okay. We got my two guys here together. Gentlemen, we are doing something. We're trying to get high techy here on the Joe Boo Sports Report. We got both of you guys called in tonight together.
what
Um,
up, E2?
What up, Johnny G? What's up,
okay.
brother? I ain't seen you in a while.
All right, so you guys are getting your bonus today. You're getting three for the price of one video here. Dak looks good and smaller. Jackie, you're right. I think actually Dak Prescott to me looked like he has actually dropped a little bit of weight. He seemed like he was happy as could be when I saw him last weekend. He's been working out actually with Alan Hearns before today. So those guys are getting in shape, getting ready to go, and I'm feeling good about that. Um, I'm getting all kinds of people trying to send me
So let
messages
me
and stuff.
ask you. So
Go
let me
ahead.
ask you, Mark, real
Yeah.
quick. So what do you think? How you think Alan Hearns is going to do on this team?
Depending on how the offensive line, everything is going to go through the offensive line. To me, everything is predicated on the offensive line opening up holes, and if they can open up holes and we can keep Zeke Elliott on the field, that changes everything. Because I look back, a lot of people say, "Oh, Dak Prescott is not accurate. He's a sorry quarterback. Can't throw the ball more than 10 feet downfield. He's got accuracy problems and foot placement and yada yada yada." But look back to his rookie year when the offensive line was opening up holes for Zeke Elliott. Zeke wasn't getting touched till 3-4 yards down the field.
Yeah.
People had to start putting that safety in there. Dez Bryant was hurt. Dez
Yeah, that
Bryant.
ankle.
Dez Bryant did not, do a whole lot. And Dak was basically looking around to find the open man. And I believe that part of the problem is with Dez Bryant is you have to get Dez Bryant involved early. If you don't get involved early, he checks out.
Yeah, because there's been games where you get a whole half of football and he ain't even had a pass or touched the ball yet.
Well,
I mean, that's
they're
ridiculous.
trying to get it to him.
I disagree with that. I think the biggest thing with Dez, because I've seen games where Zeke would have close to 200 yards and he's just as happy. Like, I think that just like us fans, like I'll point out before, Dez would get upset at how things were getting called. Like, think about the Seattle game where Zeke didn't touch the ball on the 2-yard line.
Oh my God,
how
that was
upset
stupid.
were we as fans? Like, if you're on, just imagine, like, because Dez was a Cowboy fan as well, just playing for the team. So
Yeah.
just imagine we're not giving the ball to Zeke on the 2-yard line, and the stuff don't work, and you know it's not going to work. Like, yeah,
Right.
obviously your body language doesn't need to be like that, but I'm just saying, like, I think that a lot of that, as far as his body language and yelling and stuff like that, a lot of people are misconstruing a lot of the stuff that he's saying. He's a very passionate guy. I seen him score a touchdown and throw his damn helmet down. Like, that's just the way he is. Like, he's like Samuel L. Jackson for playing football.
Pretty much.
I am tired of these snakes on this
Snakes on the
plane. Strap in. Okay, well, be that as it may, okay, I still believe that you have to call the game different to keep Dez Bryant happy. You're trying to force the ball to him early and often so that way he's into the game. Because clearly, don't get me wrong, if Dez Bryant's in the game and on his game, it's fantastic. But if you have the meltdown like you did before,
This is the thing.
you can't have that. And I believe that we'll be better by subtraction like we were when we lost to Marcus Ware and Jason Hatcher.
Go ahead, E2, because go ahead.
See, this is the
Tell me how
thing.
stupid I am.
You shouldn't have to be forcing the ball to anybody. Dak has to do better, period, of reading his progressions and going and reading the whole field. You got to pass it to the player that's not necessarily open, but you got to put the ball where the player can only get it. He was throwing the ball behind where the cornerback was. When Tony Romo was here, he was putting that ball on the spot with Dez. That's the main reason why Dez was, a beast like he was. As soon as Dak became the quarterback, his production went down. Now, because they didn't.
I won't go there quite with that because, I had the numbers on Dez. Dez has been targeted 915 times in his career and has only come down with 531 of those as receptions. Now, Dak didn't throw him all 400 of those ones that he didn't come down with. There are plenty of times where Tony Romo would be like, you got to.
Can I tell you why you're both right?
Okay, go ahead.
Let's look at the big difference between last year and the year before. In 2016, like if you look at the numbers, like side by side, they're almost identical. A big difference is Zeke missing 6 games, but with Zeke being in there in 2016, in first down, we were getting 5 yards, 6 yards. So it's 2nd and 4 or 3rd and 1. So it makes it a lot easier on Dak Prescott. Last year, we weren't winning first downs and second downs like we were. So we were in passing situations where it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. Yeah, and so obviously Dez did get more targets because we weren't playing down the distance like we were in 2016. That was a bigger problem, in my opinion. And that goes back to what Mark was talking about, the offensive line.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Well, that's why I kept saying that we need to get Will Hernandez. I'm going to throw a damn pin across. I might even throw the whole RV if they get a damn wide receiver in the first round.
I'll be upset. I'm going to give a shout out to Corey that's on here, whose wife is a Giants fan.
Oh.
But she says she loves the channel, though, and keep quiet and quiet the haters and keep doing my thing. I appreciate that because Lord knows we've got haters that have come out the woodwork. Listen, guys, please take it easy, man. This is YouTube, okay?
Because y'all going hard.
No, I mean, seriously, because some of y'all putting out death threats and things like that to some of my brethren out there and stuff, man. I mean, guys, listen. Dez Bryant's going to be okay. Dez Bryant's got 40 or 50 million reasons to be happy, okay? Relax. He will get a job with another team. He'll play football and everything else, and the Dallas Cowboys will keep on keeping on. It's okay. I mean, I don't know how much you guys have got because people are coming at me saying you got what you wanted. You're one of those Jason Garrett guys. It's like, hold up.
You're not the only one that
It's like,
gets.
listen,
You're a GG.
It's like you can call me
You're
an
GG.
idiot. You can call
Hey,
me
GG.
old. You can call me ugly
Hello,
and fat, but
GG.
don't say I'm a Jason Garrett guy. Come on, man. Don't insult me like that. I mean, seriously.
Hey, Mark, you're a clapper.
No, I'm not.
Can the fans do something different and stop calling them JG? It pisses me off to high heaven because I've been called JG long before Jason Garrett was called JG.
Right.
And so when they say JG, I'm like looking around. They talking about Garrett. I'm like, oh hell no.
Oh man, this is just crazy. Okay, well, all right. So we've talked about Dez Bryant. We're done. Dez Bryant is no longer a Dallas Cowboy player.
Now let's look forward.
We're going to look at the 53 guys that are going to be on the 2018 Dallas Cowboys roster.
Okay.
And one last thing, now that we have a little bit of money because somebody just left the building, do you guys think we're going to try and make a move in the next week and a half?
I think they definitely gonna wait closer to the draft. It might be a draft day. We might get Earl Thomas draft day because again, Seattle don't have They don't have a second. They don't have a third. They don't have a lot.
Third,
It's a lot they don't have. They have a lot of holes in their defense because they have to recreate that defense.
Right.
And again, you're not gonna do that throughout this whole draft anyway. But they definitely do need some picks towards that because they can get some players in that realm that will help them. So with that being said, I feel like the longer the Cowboys wait, they're going to get desperate and they're going to be like, all right, well, just give us a third and a sixth and we're good.
Right. Well, people keep coming at me.
I'll
saying,
get rid of them for a third and a sixth.
Yeah, I do that. Mike Fisher seems to believe that the Cowboys will offer a second. To me,
I think so too. I definitely see it in the just looking at their official visits and just looking at the pattern of guys that they're looking at. I definitely see number 50 definitely up there as something that they're ready to part with.
Yeah,
definitely.
I don't know. Second is kind of high for me, although
it's not for me as well. I don't want to give it up.
It's not like we've done a lot with second round draft picks to begin with.
Can we give up next year's second round pick and give him a third this year or something? Like, damn, I don't want to give it up this year. A lot of good second round talent.
You want to give up a second and I'd say a third, maybe a third and a fifth. Okay, I'd be okay with that personally, but we'll have to see, what it is. But it's amazing that's come around. I was kind of saying that Ian Rappaport had reported that Seattle was going to do a long-term deal with them.
They're not going to do
that. I'm just saying that Ian Rappaport always knows what he's talking about.
They are creating that defense with a bunch of young guys.
I agree right there.
And first of all, Earl Thomas doesn't fit the mold anymore because all of his guys are gone. Because even Cam Chancellor's not playing anymore. So
well, how about we do this? Let's do the pros and the cons of getting Earl Thomas here. Okay.
Okay.
So
you want to start, John?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll start. All right, so will we start with cons or pros?
Let's start with pros. Reasons to get him.
All right, your pro is you're automatically a contender. Like just adding Earl Thomas right now to this roster makes us a contender.
Wow.
Because on the back end you have cornerbacks right now, young cornerbacks that are playing pretty good ball. You have a system that he's going to be very familiar with, and you're going to have the pass rush stepped up a little bit last year as far as the ends.
Right.
And you're going to be in a position where you can get another like defensive tackle or whatnot, or maybe a linebacker, and then the defense is back. So I think that it automatically makes you a contender to play smash mouth football.
Okay. DeMarcus Stokes, thanks very much for the super chat. You're entered in our drawing tonight. We'll do one of the shirts that I got signed yesterday at that event. Okay.
And to add to that for a positive, I think I told you this, Mark, when I saw you in person. He would be great for this defense, one, because we have Chris Richard. And if Chris Richard definitely tries to implement some of the stuff that he did in Seattle with the Cowboys, you have a guy that was already in that system like Earl Thomas, that free safety that can show basically these young guys, because these young guys are going to be good, in my
Right.
opinion. So you have him in there, that locker room, talking to them, coaching them up, teaching them what they did in Seattle. And I'm telling you, like, we get some coverage in that middle, this defense is going to be great. We already have a decent front line. We just have to we got to get these DBs on point and get them up to speed.
Well, I'll add to that he can be the guy who leads teaching the system at Chris Richard. I'll also add to that he will add some edginess, okay, and a leadership role. Here's the thing about our defense.
It'll get them to play harder, too.
Well, right, because here's the thing. Sean Lee.
Like when Rolando McClain was here.
Right. Now, see, Sean Lee leads basically on the field by his play. Sean Lee is not a very vocal guy, except when he sees Joe Boo. You need a guy that'll get into your face, I think, on the defense. That's one of the reasons why last year I was talking about, if they got Richard Sherman, I was okay with that because it brings a little bit of edginess and things like that and some fire and some passion, similar to what Dez Bryant would be. And he also brings a ring, an experience of being in two Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that we don't have. We don't have one of those guys that know what it's like,
And also,
we do have somebody. We do have somebody, but think about this. He's the guy that we hate. Jason Garrett has a ring, but it was 20-something years ago, and that's what they're looking up to right now. We don't have anybody with the recent experience with the ring.
Right.
And also when we haven't had a DB in the Pro Bowl in a long time either. And if Earl Thomas becomes on the team, automatically you have one. But
I'll add one other thing that will also do for us too. By getting him, it also basically gets you in a position of drafting the best player available, and it starts taking care of one of those weak spots in the middle.
And you don't have to reach.
Like I always quote my man John over here: when you control the middle, you control the field. And you can look at all three levels right now. We do not control the middle from the defensive line to the linebacking core to the safety. If you can knock that one out, then
it's like Swiss cheese out
right. Then come the draft, you can wheel and deal. You might end up saying, you know what? The guy we really want to target, he's fallen. We could move back 3 or 4 spots, get a third-round draft pick, get that guy, and have an extra pick in there to really do something. Maybe you end up using that pick with another one to trade up higher into the second round or something. It gives you more options. Now, the con.
And keep this in mind, too.
What's that?
With Dez's money that we just kind of got rid of, with being able to sign Earl Thomas, you'll also be able to possibly bring in the veteran linebacker, which will help us control the middle of the field. And I've been screaming for it, Mr. Bowman. But if you add Earl Thomas and Bowman, that makes us better automatically right now. And you can still draft a young linebacker for them to mold. So you got 2 guys with championship pedigree.
You're preaching to the choir. Okay,
but you know what? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they went and got both of them.
Well, you've got basically $9.9 million right now on the cap. If you end up getting Earl Thomas, and I think Bleed Silver and Blues, thanks for the super chat. Brad needs to draw on. Definitely helping us out for the draft trip. Now I lost my thought. Jeez, I'm just getting old and dementia. Forgive me, guys. I had a thought there, but I lost it. Okay.
But next year we'll only have $1.6 million of dead money left. So Romo's money will come off. Dez's money won't be there. So you'll have enough money to sign these guys.
Next off season, we're gonna have some money.
Yeah. I remember
that
my
March
thought.
Deal is gonna get done. So actually, cutting Dez made a lot of sense from that aspect because we thought maybe he'd be a post June 1st cut, but cutting him when they did. They have no dead money left over. So
for the following year. Although I kind of would. Well, what I said was if they make it a cut for right now, then that means I think that they would be going for somebody. And it sounds like they are trying to go for Earl Thomas. Brian from SoCal, thank you very much for the super chat. The other thing with Earl Thomas is, will he be willing to take a team-friendly deal because he really wants to be here? That's the big question.
I mean, he the one that came to Garrett.
That's what I'm saying. So it may be that I'm not looking for every nickel. I understand that you need to have some money to get some other people so I can get another ring, and I want to be there. So, yeah, I'll get a good deal. So they might be able to get a better deal than if he went to someplace where he's like, this is just a job. I want to get every nickel because I'm in Cleveland.
And he's 30 and he's had injury history. So nobody's really going to sign him for a whole bunch of money, I don't think.
Right. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. So now the cons of signing Earl Thomas. Reasons that
we get older. We get older. And we get older, and obviously you always talk about the risks of playing football. If he goes down, then we're still in the same situation. Well, I think we're in a better situation because we'd have the depth, so the young guys could just step up. But we'd be in the same position that we're in. But you always risk the injury, and then if we're paying them the money, then that's wasted money. So that's a con.
True, but don't discount the player's coach aspect. I believe that Dak Prescott was better his rookie year because he had Mark Sanchez and Tony Romo talking into his ear.
Absolutely.
And because of that, I think we need to sign a veteran quarterback just for that reason.
Yeah, and I'd be happier with a veteran coach at quarterback coach myself. But, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. And
I was waiting for that.
And a pen that's not writing either. All right. Other cons.
Basically, mine was the same as John's. I mean, if he gets injured, you don't have him on the field. But like you said, you do have him as a player's coach. He is still on that sideline, and he can tell these guys, hey, I know these guys. I played this team. I know what they're going to do. When you see him flinch like this, do this. But that's the only con I really have is if he gets injured and if they end up overpaying for him.
I have another con.
What's that?
Because I evidently we have a problem with really emotional and characters. Because Earl Thomas isn't necessarily somebody that's I'm not gonna say that he's like wiry like Dez or whatnot, but he does show a lot of passion. What if he doesn't fit in with what Garrett and those guys think is like an ideal locker room teammate? What if he doesn't fit in?
Well, see,
that's a con. Because he's coming from somewhere where he's used to winning.
I just feel like not just the Cowboys, but there's some other teams out there. They don't allow these players to be themselves sometimes. Like
exactly.
not necessarily being disrespectful.
You guys
but
hold on to the conversation. Let me get another pen.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with showing passion and emotion, long as it's in a positive way.
Absolutely.
But you can't be out there just running around being negative and breaking up the monotony of the locker room. That's one thing that you can't do. But long as your passion is real, they should allow them to do that. Now, I feel like sometimes they shut players down because of their passion. You look at Marquette King. I don't even see what the big deal was with that. It wasn't like he was getting penalty calls. So I don't know. But
he was doing his job, and he loved doing his job. Like, I really didn't get it. He's a damn punter.
Exactly. I didn't get it. And like I said, it's the same thing with us. They want you to shut up and just play football. I mean, okay, well.
Shout out to Victor Vallis for the super chat. You're in our drawing as well. Okay, so.
What you think about that, Mark?
You know what? I don't think I've seen tirades and meltdowns on the sidelines with Earl Thomas, even when they ended up screwing the pooch in the Super Bowl. I've seen different ones with Dez Bryant that have been more of a distraction. I've seen locker room meltdowns. It was more
Richard Sherman they were talking to than Earl Thomas.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I've never seen Richard Sherman or any of those guys over there have any, but they had a problem with Pete Carroll.
Right, which is, and that's part of the reason why he may be gone too, because that whole basically became the defense against the offense, and particularly against the quarterback because of that play. They deemed that we should have had another ring. You guys screwed up, and every time something happens, it goes back to the sniping and things like that. I don't think that'll be an issue. What are the
you don't? Because I can distinctly remember us making a lot of stupid calls.
Oh, well, okay, but true. Okay, well, yeah.
Well, Garrett. Him and his mantra of the right type of guys.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so sick of that.
I've seen so many guys that weren't the right kind of guys that they've had, and ones that have gotten in a lot of trouble. But thus far, let me say this much.
I'm kind of leery about saying sometimes things because I got to be careful. But I keep seeing so much stuff going off the field with other players. You got Jameis Winston, who had allegedly groped a Lyft driver.
What?
Well, this is back in November. But see, here's the thing. This is what's crazy.
Nobody heard about that.
Oh, well, okay. But he supposedly groped her. He said, I still haven't heard from the NFL about it yet. I don't know anything about it. That's what he talked about today. We know about Alden Smith, who blew a 4. Okay, a .40, not a .04.
First of all, how many times has he done something and not been reprimanded for?
Okay, we had Wildman from the Jets driving, blowing a .15, going the wrong way through the Lincoln Tunnel. We had a wide receiver from Buffalo who was butt naked, broke his foot in some glass and everything else in an apartment building. We're seeing all of these things on here. I haven't heard anything about any NFL investigations.
You can add Darryl Worley to that list too.
Right. I mean, we had Laundry, and who we saw the video of him pushing his girlfriend or significant other in the car, and the NFL said, "No, you're good. There's not enough evidence." Are we looking at the end of the NFL kangaroo court system?
I feel like they realized that they reached too far with Zeke. Duh. But I feel like they was like, well, we did too much with the Zeke thing. I think we need to just chill out for a minute and let the law enforcement do their job. I wish they would have thought about that when this whole Zeke stuff happened, because again, they gave him the maximum penalty, and there was other players out here that should have got worse than him.
Well, people that have been convicted of crimes that didn't get as much.
Convicted, exactly.
Daniel Laris, thank you very much for the super chat. And guys, when you do a super chat, ask a question so that way we can try and answer it. I appreciate all the support, and at least let me make sure that we get that question for you. Would you rather take Vita Vea, or Derwin James?
Okay, so that's like saying, do you want red Kool-Aid or strawberry? But either way, it's going to be a win-win. But again, you got to move up to get Derwin. You got to get up in front of the Bucs.
If they're both at 19, I'd rather have Derwin.
But Derwin's not going to be at 19.
I know that. I'm just saying.
Time out here. First of all, no Kool-Aid. How about we say that we got Zaya rum or we got Zappa rum? Okay, come on.
Okay, all right.
Kool-Aid.
You're a rum guy. I was trying to keep it PG.
I'm keeping it PG, man.
I was trying to keep it PG.
All right, okay. To me, both of them, I'd take either one of them, because either one of them is going to plug one of those places in the middle that I believe that we need to take. I mean, personally, I would love that. Personally, I would take Vita Vea, because I don't think Derwin James, you got a chance at that one unless you move up. Vita Vea may fall into your lap, but to me, if we have the guy in the middle that's an immovable force, you're going to get the biggest bang for the buck. If he is going to require double teams, just like Calais Campbell did for Jacksonville, and we saw what he did as a defensive end for them, that defense has a great front. If we put him in the middle where he's not moved out, you don't have a big learning curve to plug up the middle. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait a couple of years for him to be an impact player. He's a guy that you can plug in there and say, look, just hold this spot. Just don't let anybody push you out of here. Let DeMarcus Lawrence, let David Irving, let Taco come on those edges. That quarterback is going to be, the walls are closing in on me. I got to get this ball out here. And they're going to start making mistakes and turning over the ball. We had a great outside rush, but quarterbacks could step up in the pocket, have a great, line of sight, boom, and pick you apart.
If the Redskins don't pick him before us, that's definitely going to be the pick at 19, in my opinion, if we don't move up or move back. But again, the draft is at the Cowboys Stadium, and I believe that they're going to do something that we're not even going to be thinking about. We're going to be sitting there at the tailgate, and we're going to be sitting there with our mouth wide open like, did they just do that?
Yeah.
And we're either going to throw our pins at the wall or we're going to be jumping around breaking stuff. Either way, it's going to be interesting.
What are your thoughts on that, John? Corey, thank you for the super chat.
Man, I really have no words because I actually agree, man. Whatever happens, man, we're all going to throw the
It's just
pins.
at this point, man. I was trying to do another first round mock draft, but every time I try to think about it, it's like my mind keeps changing every day because there's so many different options we could go at number
Well,
19 at
and,
this
and
point.
again, that's one of those reasons why I just never do mock drafts because one, it's hard enough just to keep up with the regular stuff that goes on, and I don't get paid to do this stuff where I could sit there and just spend all day long with it. That's why I'm glad that you guys take care of this stuff. But now we're hearing about a mega deal that might be brewing. I don't know if you guys heard about this right now between the Browns, the Giants, and Buffalo. They might be swapping picks or doing something big and stuff
Oh,
like that.
the Bills were low key trying to move up. They've been talking about that for the last month.
Jamie Hunt
So I
thinks
mean,
they're
we
super
They
know
got
they're
the
fast.
going to be doing.
ammunition to do so. They
Yeah, they
have
do.
it.
And
They do.
I think we're going to see actually a lot of movement this year. We've seen so many trades. We've had so many trades this year that it's just unbelievable. Normally we don't ever see, more than a trade or two, but everybody's been trade happy this year. And I think
That's
some
great
people.
for us.
Oh yeah,
It is great. It is great for us.
And I think you're going to see some people that are going to be trying to jockey and move around and everything else. But quarterbacks are definitely a premium. We know that it's going to be at least 4, if not 5, gone before. I wouldn't even be surprised if somebody reaches and goes up even higher.
I feel like it's gonna be players that get picked in the top 10 that ain't got no business being in the top 10,
Well,
which is gonna be awesome for us. I mean, you guys got to be excited about that because we might actually have our pick of a couple of different players that at 19. So I think we just need
yeah.
to stay pat.
And see, I think wide receivers are going to drop.
Yeah,
Because,
That's great for us as well. That's
right,
great. For
I
us.
think you'll be able to get a really great wide receiver in the second
if
round.
we can get Cortland Sutton in the second round, I'm all for that.
Exactly.
I'm all
But
for
not
that
in the
too.
first. Not in the first.
Not a 19. Nah.
Not at 19.
Well, Corey was talking actually about Rico Gathers if he thinks he's going to get a shot this year.
Y'all
Or
keep talking about Rico, man. Just wait till training camp and see what happens with him. Y'all, I don't want to disappoint y'all, and don't hate me, Cowboy fans. I love Rico just like y'all do, but we gotta wait and see with him. You already know that this coaching staff does not know how to develop players in a row. We just don't know how to do it. So if he gets to the season or if he doesn't get picked on this team this year, you could go ahead and just say forget it because he's not going to develop with us. He's gonna get cut. He's gonna go with another team, and then he may do something with them. But if they don't do something with him this offseason and going into this year, then I don't. It's not much I can say about Rico at that point. So you can't really gun on that.
right.
And I'm just going by
that,
past experience.
That's
what
my
they've been
worry.
doing.
That's my worry as well. Because I'll be honest with you, I love his size. I love his speed.
I love all of that.
And when I like I said, when I've seen him run, he is so fluid. Usually, when you get a guy that's that tall, they're kind of lanky. They kind of look like it's awkward when they're running, but he has a stride almost like a sprinter. And when he's able to go, I mean, he's got the leaping ability where you can go ahead and do that jump ball, and he's going to jump over almost every cornerback. But the question is, he had one fall in practice and had the concussion. Is he going to be a guy that you're going to be able to rely on? And knowing that he only played basically with the Cowboys and really didn't play football since 8th grade, if that one hit took him out, what's going to happen when he's getting lit up by a safety across the middle?
I don't know, and that's one of the reasons I want to draft the tight end, even with Rico. See, what should have happened this year was
I like Mark Andrews.
Witten should have been on the chopping block. I know Cowboys fans are going to kill me, but we should be drafting a young athletic tight end, and they should be fighting it out. And with Witten's contract, that could create some money as well. But that's what should have happened.
Right.
But they restructured it.
Even if Witten is still on this team, they have to do a better job of like rotating their tight ends in the game. I understand. I love Jason Witten, but they give him too much leeway and say so. Again, if the coach say, I'm going to run this, you better do that. I mean, I feel like when the tight ends try to get on the field, Jason Witten's like, nah, I got it. Keep him on the sideline. I'm staying in the game. So It's almost like you can't develop anybody until Jason Witten retires.
And it's not like Jason Witten. I'm sorry to say, but Jason Witten's blocking has started slipping. We can't go down the field. I'm not saying that Jason Witten is the sole reason that the offense was bad. Not saying that at all. I'm saying he slipped as well. And that's
he was never that great at blocking anyway. I mean, because that's not what he did before. He was a possession receiver most of his career. But I mean, when he started blocking in his older age, when we needed that, when we didn't have as a great line as we do now, and that was the reason why he started blocking in the first place. I mean, he's decent, he gets in the way, but he's not somebody that's going to be a bruising blocker. Now, if we could get somebody in the draft that is a great blocker, just in case we don't keep James Hanna, because first of all, we got to figure out what we're going to do with the tight ends we got on the team.
Yeah, but see, I actually like a receiver threat because to me, tight ends have evolved, okay, from back in the day of Mike Dickens and things like that. Jason Witten was kind of one of those first multi-purpose blocking, receiving, and everything else. He's just gotten old. But you see what Gronk, Zach Ertz, and what these guys end up being to the offense. They're leading their teams in receptions. Wide receivers, and that's where people keep saying, you're stupid, you can't win without Dez Bryant. And I'm kind of like, what did we win with Dez Bryant? I'm looking at Antonio Brown, who's the highest paid wide receiver with the Steelers. The Steelers haven't been to the Super Bowl with him. So to me, the value of wide receivers, teams are beginning to look at that and saying, you know what, you don't have to have that wide receiver. Antonio Brown, by the way, was a 6th-round draft pick. That you don't necessarily win with just that guy. You got to have an offensive line. You got to have a running game.
But that's also why football is a team sport. Look at when Barry Sanders was with the Lions. He was great, but that line was garbage, and he couldn't be the guy that he could be because he didn't have the team around him. Even if you have great players in your team, you still have to have a balance. You got to have depth. You got to have a line. Remember, it starts in the trenches, the offensive and defensive line.
Nathaniel Jack, thank you very much for the super chat. We're going to do the drawing here. I'll get Michael Anthony to grab the name. Who should we give away tonight, Mike, from yesterday? Jet Pugh, Tony Casillas, Bill Bates.
Tony Casillas.
Tony Casillas was crazy. He was looking at Joe. He was like,
I saw that.
What the hell is this?
No, he was looking like, man, get that thing away from me.
Steve Berline was actually Steve was actually talking to Joe Boo in the interview. He kept looking at, well, hey, I'm doing great, Joe Boo. I was like, okay, maybe he got hit a few times too. No, but we had a great time. Okay, so Michael, can you actually come over and pull one of these names out of here? Everybody who entered tonight, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get crazy, and we're actually going to keep all of you guys and add it to the Dak Prescott jersey drawing for Friday as well. Okay, all right. So,
oh, Lord.
Michael Anthony Fitness is feeling himself and talking about his guns. Okay. And don't think that your pop can't still knock you out.
You see that right there?
Yeah. So anybody who wonders if Michael is all in for the Cowboys, you see his tattoo right there. All right, grab a name. The name is...
Jeez, the chat is, everybody's saying Cut Witten. Jeez. I think everybody's thinking that, man.
Okay. All right, so wait, who are we giving away?
We know they're not going to do that.
All right, we'll give away Bill Bates
Garrett
again. Okay, Bill Bates.
Yeah, just talking about.
And the winner is Matt Presdor. Matt Presdor. Matt, you're a winner. Email me at cowboysmark94@gmail. Thank everybody for the super chats. Thank you for supporting the channel and stuff. We're continually trying to get better. We are building for this draft trip, and this is just the first of many things that we're going to be doing. So thank you guys for the support. I couldn't do what we've been able to do in here without it because, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of money. But with your support, we're able to do a lot of that. So we're getting close to 10 o'clock, and I can't believe how fast the time flies. Guys, let me know if you like the dual format or if you like it better with just one of these guys at a time, or if it's too much having 3 people and so on. So leave a comment and stuff on there.
Now, we're a dream team. We got to be on here.
Well, they better get used to this because, next week we're going to be driving down the road and live streaming the whole drive. So that's going to be incredible to be able to just talk football literally with no wives. Just us, the road, and football. It's going to be great.
Except this guy right here, Mr.
Well, yeah, but John's flying in on Friday, unfortunately. Yeah. But we got Clarence missing in action. We'll find out if he actually speaks or not. We'll have Foots. Now, Foots is going to get lively because Foots he's upset right now. I've been trying to get Foots to talk, but he's still in mourning.
He hit a Shango.
Well, no, he's actually in mourning for Dez Bryant right now, and he's really
Move on,
just,
my man. Move
you know,
on.
come back to us, Cowboys Nation. Come back to us, man. Anything else you want to add tonight that the Cowboys should be doing besides firing Jason Garrett?
Win the
Well,
Super Bowl.
well, first of all, like I told you before, if this coaching staff doesn't get this team at least to the playoffs this year, goodbye, goodbye Linehan, goodbye Jason. I've been saying that. This is it. First of all, he's only got one more year in his contract, correct?
Well, it's 2 years, but here's the thing: next year is the shit or get off the toilet.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
it.
have a coach going into a last year of his contract, so you either have to fire him at the end of next year, or you have to renew his contract and give him more time.
And again, they have to get it together. They have to get these players. First of all, it starts with Dak Prescott. He is the quarterback of this team. This offseason, I hope that he was working on his mechanics. I hope that he was working on his footwork. I hope he was working on his accuracy, everything that he needs to do to stay focused to be in, because this is now his team. And the coaching staff has to also, because we got like 5-6 quarterback coaches on this team. So there's no reason why he should be failing or should fail this season, because he should have all these coaches need to stand in and stop pointing the finger at everybody else. Make sure that they call the plays like they're supposed to. Show some daggone creativity and stop being so predictable. And if they stop doing it, I guarantee you we have a great year. Because we got the talent to do it.
All right, John, you have evaluated 261 players. I hope you're going to be ready to talk about whoever.
I haven't gotten to that many, but sheesh, I've gotten a lot, man.
I expect when we draft somebody that you guys are ready to go ahead and give real-time thoughts on whoever that may be.
Oh, yeah, we will. We will.
So, John, what you got to add that the Cowboys should do?
I think that the philosophy should change, because everybody keeps talking about Dak friendly, but no, the focal point of our offense needs to be Zeke Elliott. When we were winning in 2016, Zeke Elliott was the guy, and Dak Prescott was a plus, and that needs to continue. When they tried to make Dak the guy, when we get in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, we're not as good of a football team. We got to find a way to keep winning first and second downs. And once we do that, then guys will get open. It'll be a lot less predictable, as E2 Blue was saying. So, in my opinion, let's make the Cowboys great again. Let's ride the back of Zeke Elliott.
That's it.
And for me, what I would add is we take Rod Martinelli, take some of the load off of him, and let him focus in on the defensive line, because I think he's a genius when it comes to getting those linemen together. And let Chris Richard have more power and more leeway and give him the tools to make that defense a lights-out defense. If we can get our defense, I know they were ranked 8th in yards and stuff, but that doesn't mean crap if you don't get turnovers. If we can get that defense to start getting turnovers for our offense, it's going to make all the difference in the world. As much as you guys want to down the Dallas Cowboys, you want to talk about how we're just trash, Dak Prescott sucks. Hey, listen, we were 9-7 last year. Most seasons, 9-7 get you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The New York Giants went to the Super Bowl and won with a 9-7 team. Yep. If we have a few things go right, we don't lose Zeke Elliott, we keep our offensive line healthy, we will win more games than we did last year, and we'll be there at least in the playoffs. And when the playoffs happen, anything can happen. So don't give up the faith. Understand that what happened with Dez Bryant is a natural evolution of the game, and the Cowboys will be okay, and Dez will be okay. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for all joining in. Matt, make sure
last time.
Matt, make sure you. Oh man. Make sure you email me at cowboysmark@gmail94. I got to get those stuff out, man. I've been busy as could be. You know, I started to actually play The Thrill Is Gone, and I said, nah, maybe I better not. That might be too soon. But as always, guys, thank you all for all the support. Make sure, I'm sorry, guys, tell everybody where to find you.
You first.
All right, it's your boy E2 Blue. Follow me, y'all. It's E2 BLU, no E on the end of that. Entertainment. Come follow me, man. You know, I got some bunch of videos up, and I got my dog in some videos too, and she's hilarious. So
okay,
come support the boy.
That punk dog you got.
Whatever. We talking about my dog.
That dog's the size of a horse and scared of his own shadow. Okay.
You guys can find me at DMV Dallas Cowboys. Not DMV Traffic, not Department of Motor Vehicles, but DMV Dallas Cowboys.
Amen to that one. And again, if you guys lost that, go to my home screen. All the guys that we work with from Shango, Vosh, DMV, Dallas Cowboys. I got it right, Mike. As well as E2 Blue, Michael Anthony Fitness, Law Nation, Vosh, all of those guys. Show them support and love, man. All these guys, whether you like them or hate them, put in a lot of work to make sure they bring you the best news on the Cowboys. Listen, you don't have to agree with everything, but at least be open-minded enough to hear somebody else's opinion and then decide for yourself. And I'm happy that people just don't agree with me. I don't want people that just blindly follow everything I say, because you guys actually make me think about what other possibilities are. I'm Mark Holmes. Thank you guys for watching the Joe B Sports Report. And with that, I am out of here.